Hey guys, this is part 2 of joint care series, and I'm going to be taking you through yet another sequence of movements that you can do to support the health of your joints, the ball and socket joints, the shoulders and the hips. In this series, we're working particularly on bringing nutrition to the joints. Ball and socket joints are built to have a multi-directional range of motion, rotation, internal, external, adduction, abduction, flexion, extension, circumduction. So both shoulders and hips are supposed to move well, and yet so many people are riddled with shoulder pain and hip pain, especially in the midlife onwards. There are angles that we tend to not visit very often, and those joints end up getting stiff or painful, or people find that they're actually limited in what they can do, whether it's a movement overhead or reaching behind their back. The same with the hips, getting into deeper positions like squats or even sitting cross-legged on the floor. So my goal is to bring you useful tools, exercises you can do at home, easy solutions to keep those joints healthy, to preserve range of motion, to expand range of motion, to make the movement smooth. Okay, so it feels like there's butter inside. But by extension, nourish the cartilage, make sure that the capsule stays healthy, that we engaging all those little muscles that create the cuff, that provide stability in the joint. Today we're working with bands. We're going to be working with long resistance band as well as the loops. All right, guys, so I want to show you the first setup for the shoulder swivel. And we're going to be working with a resistance band, medium resistance, okay? Don't overpower your shoulder. You want to be able to get as far as possible, okay? So I'm going to wrap the band around my hand, and then the other strand of the band, I'm going to just put it underneath my thigh. If this is not accessible to you at all, then sit up on the chair and put the elbow on the blocks or books on the table, and then you'll be doing this sort of movement, okay? You can make the band as strong as you want. And guys, this is what you're doing, okay? I called it windshield wipers. You can call it a shoulder swivel. So we're going into internal rotation and external rotation. Feel free to sit up against the wall and notice how I'm not trying to use my upper body to create this movement. I see that a lot. There's a common compensation when the shoulder cannot do it anymore. We tend to move the thoracic spine. But what I want to teach you is isolation of that joint, okay? Now, you're going to feel it right here in the posterior part of the shoulder, on top of the shoulder blade. This is the muscle. This is part of the rotator cuff. Muscles called infraspinatus and teres minor. And join me to do the other side. So again, wonderful prehab. We're keeping those deepest structures healthy, nourished, and awake. I like to brace, and then on the exhale, I rotate. You know that the resistance is too heavy. If you end up lifting the shoulder blade up to the ear, it means that the trapeze is already taken over, your levator scap taken over. So really pull the scaps down and try to work from the shoulder joint, so-called glenohumeral joint. And you may have to start lighter, okay? Don't let your ego take over. I know how people think, well, what is this 2 kilos? What is this 1.5 kgs? It's, you know, like I can lift 20, 30 kilos over my head or more. You don't want the big muscles to take over. You want the deep structures to fire. And you will see how fatigued this area is getting. All right, guys, we're heading to the next movement, and this time you're going to do it prone, okay? So we're going to be using the knee to pin the band down, and this is a wonderful variation, substitute to what we've done before. So guys, we're going to be in this position, and I will be doing the same swivel motion in here. Notice how my elbow is below the shoulder, and I just do that little pivot, get a good hold of the band. And again, try not to displace your thorax as you're doing that swivel. Now guys, as a top up, I like to pull and hold. And I'm gonna remove support. I'm gonna send my right leg up the ceiling, my left arm up in the air. I kind of like this to work my core stability, my pelvic stability, as well as work on the strength of the shoulder. All right, let's move on to the other shoulder. So join me, guys. You can go as far as you can over to the left. Make sure the band is not overpowering the strength of the shoulder. And you will see that after a while, all this area here burns. So it means you're doing good work. Pull and hold. Send your leg up and opposite arm up. So now my left shoulder is fighting. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now moving on to the hip, we're going to use a light resistance band. This is going to be the loop, and you will place the loop just above your knees around the low thighs, okay? And then send your hands, fingertips out to the sides, hands a little bit wider than the shoulders, and we work from 4-point kneeling, okay? If you don't trust your core here, you may want to do it in a sideline position, okay? I'm going to show you how it looks like, but I want you to really stiffen your tummy. We call this irradiation. So I take a deep breath in, pack the air down, I stiffen the body, and then I gently move my hip through controlled articular rotation. So I go to flexion, abduction, internal rotation, extension, and then back in. So right now I'm just going to go one way. Of course, you can make that band extra light. It's just about having something to push into so you don't feel like you're working against the air. Okay, so guys, that's one way. Now you can also try in opposite direction. So you send the leg back into extension, getting your glutes and hamstrings into abduction. And then you continue. So guys, you're working multiple things at once, right? You're working shoulder stability, core stability, pelvic stability, but also you will feel here like the side of the hip and the back of the hip are working quite a lot against that band. And then we're moving on to the other side. Join in. I would say amazing warm up, guys, before you're gonna do anything, any kind of sport or any activity at the gym. Okay, so we're going flexion, abduction, keeping the trunk nice and strong. Flexion, abduction, internal rotation, extension, and back to flexion. So reverse. I guess you want to pay attention so that your lumbar spine is not hyperextending like here. You want to keep your ribs, keep drawing them up and zip that belly. So you're truly moving from the hip. And guys, it looks like very easy movement. And also just pushing into the floor and bracing. And it's a lot of effort. The same, my supporting leg here is fighting the band. So my outer right hip, my abductors are on fire. Rest. Brilliant. So guys, you pretty much would have warmed up all those tissues around the hips, all the deep rotators, so that you're ready to start loading the hips, loading the bigger superficial muscles. All right, guys, so one more movement. We're going on your back. You will need a block and a loop. Lie down on your back, put the block on a medium setup between your knees, and find a tabletop. The band goes around your ankles. So I personally like to have them above my heels, around the lateral malleolus, okay? So I'm not worrying about my ankles, even though I'm putting the ankles in a locked position, kind of closed, packed position. So I'm not trying to create any movement in my ankles. I want the movement to come from my hips. So from this position, push the back of the ribcage into the ground. You can clasp your hands over your nose, squeeze the block, and then push your ankles out into the band. So I'm going now into internal rotation. I return slowly. Breath in, brace. Exhale, feet move apart. Nice way to work on the stabilization through the core, stabilizing the lumbar spine. And also you adducting, you squeezing the block, so you also get that pelvic floor and the adductor group. And obviously the internal rotators and flexors. Quite undertrained areas of the body, and this seems to be quite a nice way to balance out the rotation through the hips. Okay, guys, so that was my 5 cents for today. I hope you're going to apply them in your daily routine. I'm curious how you're getting on with them, so let me know in the comments. And if you found this useful, please like, share, subscribe for more. All right, guys, I'll see you in part 3.